guys, welcome to the solutions video for last week's inequalities assessments. So I'm going to go through the verification, and this will be the prerequisite to taking the reassessment or taking the assessment for the first time if you failed to do it last week. So the first section was apply and evaluate with your ability to graph these three inequalities. So the first one was y is less than 3. So when I only have a y and no x, it is a horizontal line. The inequality symbol being less than means it's going to be a dashed horizontal line at positive 3. So going to 3 on the y-axis and doing a dashed horizontal line through there. I then have to remember to shade. Y is less than 3, so all the y values that are below 3 are shaded below down there. So that is what your graph should look like for the first one. Moving on to the second one, we have x is greater than or equal to -2. So if I have an x and no y, now I'm talking about a vertical line. Greater than or equal to means it's going to be solid, and it's going to pass through -2 on the x-axis. So it'll go right through here. And because the x values are greater than -2, I will be shading to the right because that's where all my positive x values are. And the last one, y is equal to -3x plus 2. Now I'm going to have a diagonal line as I have both variables. So when I'm graphing a line with two variables, the 2 is the y-intercept. So it starts at +2. The -3 is my slope, so I'm going to go down 3, right 1. And then I'm going to have a solid line. That's my boundary line. And because it is less than or equal to, the lower values of y are right here. So I'm going to make sure that I shade on this side. That was the first competency, apply and evaluate. Moving on to the second competency, distinguish. I had to determine whether or not these are a solution to the system of equations. A lot of you did a bunch of math but didn't answer the question. So tell whether each ordered pair is a solution. So you have to end it with yes, it's a solution, or no, it's not a solution. So in any ordered pair, the first number is x, the second number is y. So I'm just going to substitute them in. So the first inequality is 0 is greater than or equal to 1 minus 1. 0 is greater than or equal to 0. That is a true statement. So that checks for the first one. For the second one, 0 is less than or equal to 2 times 1 plus 1. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. So I have 0 is less than 3. That is true. So A, yes, it is a solution. For part B, -8 is the y value is greater than -2 minus 1. -8 is greater than or equal to -3. -8 is not greater than or equal to -3. So I don't need to go any further. If it doesn't work in both, it's not a solution. So -2, -8 is not a solution. So that's what we're looking for distinguish. Moving on to justify and prove. So a lot of you guys did really well on this. So the first graph, A matched graph 1. A lot of reasons. The y-intercept is 4. The slope is -1. So if I converted this, it would be y is less than or equal to -x plus 4. It's less than or equal to the shading, so the shading is below the line. So those are some reasons why A and 1 match. B matches graph 3. Again, if I converted this to my traditional y equals mx plus b form, I would have x is less than or equal to y, so I have a slope of +1. So the line's going up, it's less than or equal to, so it's going to be a solid line. Y is greater than or equal to x, so I'm going to be shading above that line. And the y-intercept is 0, and this one goes straight through 0. So B and graph 3 match up, which leaves us with C and graph 2. Again, as we talked about in the first problem, when I just have y, it's going to be a horizontal line. So this is the only graph that is a horizontal line. Y is less than 3, so I'm shading below the line, which is where the shading in graph 2 is. So those would be some reasons for your matches. But overall, this is a very good competency. Most of you got 4s on it. So here is your verification code. It is Liverpool. It'll stay on the screen for 15 seconds. So there's no reason you should not know what the verification code is unless you did not choose to watch the video. And finally, moving on to the last question. So the first thing I see is this dashed line right here. It's horizontal, so I know it's going to be y. I'm shading below the line, so I know it's going to be less than, and it's going through 2 on the y-axis. So y is less than 2. The second line that defines the region is this diagonal line here. I'm shading above the line, so it's going to be greater than. It's a solid line, so it's going to be greater than or equal to. My y-intercept is down here at -3. And I get a nice corner point right there at up to right 1. So my slope is going to be 2. So my inequality is y is greater than or equal to 2x minus 3. Those are the two inequalities that define the shaded region. That is it for our video. If you, again, want to reassess, make sure you fill out the form after watching this video. And I will get reassessments out to you toward the end of the week, so you're not overwhelmed with 2 assessments in 1 week. Take care.